Look at this, Cindy. I just turned on another one of the inverters and it's showing 54.4 volts feeding out from the input of the solar panels. There's supposed to be power going in from the solar panels. And like I said, the solar panels have a breaker and they're off. There's no power going to the inverters. Well, the inverters are feeding power back. I just showed you another one before, and look at the software here. It's showing this one here. Showing 54.4 and then going down to 0. So it's feeding power out. Okay? I'm gonna connect another one just to see if it does the same. But yeah, this is one of them. Take a look here. It's a single inverter that is on and nothing else is on because I have breakers in every single one of them. I have breakers for the solar panels and I have breakers for the power. So all the powers are off. And this inverter that is showing this power here, the solar panels are off. And I already checked the switches. The breakers are good. There's no power going through. There's actually power feeding back. Power feeding back. I don't even have a load or nothing. I can just see the voltage here doing this, 54.4 to 0. So the power is going out to the solar panels. Here, you can see it. 54.4, and then it's gonna go to 0. Yep. So let me check another one. Look at this, Cindy. I'm testing another one. 54.3. Steady output, according to this, coming from the inverter. There's supposed to be input. Like I said, the switch is off and it's showing 54.3 volts. There's supposed to be no voltage there because there's no input. It's actually power going back. Now you see that went down to 54.3 and then to 0. So it was a 54.3, excuse me. And then it went down to 0. And the only connections that I have right now on are the ones coming from the batteries to that inverter. Every single other one of the inverters, the power from the batteries is off. And even to this one, the power from the solar panels is off. So there was supposed to be no input. This is feeding back. It's feeding back to the solar panels. So I'm just testing a few, but I can see all of them are doing that. So we have a problem here. This is not normal. Because what's going on here is at night, these inverters are actually draining my batteries and sending the power to the solar panels. It's not staying there. Okay? The power from my batteries is going back to the solar panels. And during the day, the solar panels are generating a lot of power, and the inverters are generating power back. So they're feeding back to the solar panels. This is crazy. They're supposed to take the power that is coming from the solar panels and convert it into power for the batteries and for the load, but not feed power back to the solar panels. Okay? I'm gonna test another one just to see, but look at this one. Like I said, that's what it's doing. I can show you, the switch is off. All my switches are off for the solar panels. And all my powers for the other inverters are off. There's no way something else was gonna be feeding power to this inverter and to the input of the solar panels, to the inverter, okay? So this is just crazy. But I'm gonna share this video with you because this is I've been trying everything, cables, connections, everything, checking my ground, you name it. No, these things are feeding power back. So they're fighting the power that is coming from the solar panels. They're fighting it back, they're feeding back to the solar panels. Okay, that's what's going on. That's why they're unstable. I've been looking for this problem. And the way I was able to locate this is when I started noticing that, wait a minute, I was like, why do I have input? Everything's off. And I thought, okay, well, I probably have a switch that is damaged. No, every single unit is doing this. I don't have any switches that are damaged. All the switches, I purchased them new and I just tested them. They're working properly. Okay, here's another one of the inverters. Now this one here is actually showing higher voltage going back to the solar panels. 55.4. This is just crazy. That's why my other inverters, they're not shutting down like this one's. and this one's actually, they're feeding back to the solar panels. So during the day, when it's power coming in from the solar panels, when it's plenty of power, of course, they're fighting with each other. The inverters are sending power out, and the solar panels are actually putting power into the inverters. So that's why these units are so unstable. 55.4 steady going out to my solar panels. When my switch is off and there's no input, there's actually output out of the input of the inverter. Crazy. I'm gonna check another one. This is 55.4. Look at this, Cindy. This one was showing 41.6, but it's the same thing. All these inverters, they're feeding back power to the solar panels. Honestly, I feel like a guinea pig with these inverters. Because look at what they're doing. Right now, like I told you before, the breakers of the solar panels are off. And it's real late. I mean, we still have a little bit of daylight, but everything is disconnected. There's no reason to have power going through because my breakers for the solar panels are off. And this is supposed to be the input, not the output. Look at that now. It's showing 41.6. These inverters are feeding back to the solar panels. Okay? Let me see. That is the fifth one that I'm checking, okay? Every single one of them is doing this. Different voltages, but they're doing it. Okay? They're doing it. Look at my voltage here. 51.2 from my batteries. 90%. Okay? That's what I have right now. But look at the voltage I'm getting out to the solar panels. Crazy. I'm going to check the last one and I'm going to show it to you right now. Here's another one of the inverters. Okay, it goes from 0 to 53.4. And you can see here my voltage is 51.1. So this is feeding back to the input that is coming from the solar panels. Look at that. All 6 of them, they're actually feeding back to the solar panels. Like I said, I have 6 inverters here that are actually going to be taking power from my batteries at night and feeding it back to the solar panels. Okay? And during the day, when the power is coming in, they're going to actually be feeding power out to the solar panels when the power is coming in. So this is unstable. Okay? Check with your tech support or whatever, because this is crazy. They don't supposed to be feeding power back to the solar panels. They're supposed to actually have an input, not an output of power. They're supposed to receive the power from the solar panels, but not send it out. Because that's what these inverters, they're not steady at all. They're not stable at all. They're like always shutting down and doing crazy things, A few times I was able to notice errors. But like I said, this thing doesn't record. This software doesn't record. I'm trying to set it up to record, and it doesn't allow me to. I can show you here on the video how when I go here to the parameters, I can enable the recording of the fault code error. I go here and I apply it, so it shows that it's setting successful. Okay, but look at this. As soon as I get out and come back in, look at what happens. Look at what happens here. Sorry about that. My mouse is kind of slowing down here. But anyway, look at what happens. Parameters, I go back in, and now I don't see it. You see? It's disabled again. It's disabled again. Totally crazy. Okay? Totally crazy. Look at that. It's disabled again. And like I was showing you, I go back to the voltage on every single one of these inverters.